Hey guys, good evening. It's about 8:30 at night. It's rare video on Saturday night. I usually don't do another pitch or another video on the channel because usually I'm just too tired. But we're doing pretty good because we just got to our 100th subscriber on the other channel, Adam and Anna. So thanks for that, guys. So feeling good. So I thought, you know what? Let's wrap up this Friday the 13th pitch thing. So. Like I said before, I considered doing a, pitch for the Freddy versus Jason, but I'm like, I kind of already did a follow-up to that or a setup for that. So I kind of talked about my Jessica Goes to Hell video and all that, how that's set up. So I think, we can go ahead and not do that one just because, all you would do, I already basically pitched a Freddy versus Jason sequel. All we would be doing a lead up, and I don't want to just be like, here's Freddy versus Jason because you've already seen them. So that's what was. I can't even talk. That's how excited I am. Anyway, blah blah blah. So yeah, we're good there. You can watch the Freddy versus Jason pitch that I did in the Nightmare pitches. So for those of you who are just now here, welcome. How are you? How's your evening? Doing good? I'm happy. All right. All right, so when for those of you who are new here, welcome to Turbo Turkey Productions. Turbo Turkey Productions is actually the name of my sketch comedy and improv troupe. And since I had this channel, I was, occasionally we'll put clips up here and stuff like that. But, I had this channel, and I was just like, all right, let's call it Turbo Turkey Productions. Why not? Everything else, pretty much almost everything in my phase of life and performance is under Turbo Turkey's name, so why not? So. That's a little history on the channel that you didn't ask for. But anyway, back to me. That's me. So, Jason. So, for those of you who don't know what we're doing here, essentially, I'm just going to do this every time I do a pitch video, just for anybody who's just tuning in. Because you never know. You might be like, hey, who is this guy? Who is this guy? So, what we're doing here, I've been doing this since Halloween. I started this with the Halloween series. Then I did Nightmare on Elm Street series, and now I'm doing Friday the 13th, and this is the last one of those. Basically, I take every movie, and then I basically do pitching a sequel. Now, most of them had sequels, but my idea is more of like, sometimes it's about continuing characters that maybe didn't come back in the sequel, or maybe a certain storyline that was like, how would they make a sequel of that? Or maybe they ignored it in the sequel, which they've done that several times, especially they'd be like, that was a terrible idea. Let's just scrap that under there. We don't need to talk about that. That never happened. What do you mean? That character did that? No, that didn't happen. So I take the challenge of that. So, for like Halloween, like, let's continue that Thorn trilogy storyline that no one wanted. But I would have to make a pitch to that, or like doing sequels to Rob Zombie's films. There's people who like those, and that's fine. That's the challenge of the thing, is coming up with a pitch for, here's what I would do with a sequel to this if we were to have to pitch a sequel to that. So we've gotten all the way to the remake, guys. Now let me just say, and if you look at the ranking video, which is all part of this, I actually really like that remake. I think it was really well done. It's not perfect, but like, it's for what, comparing it to the Halloween Rob Zombie one or the Nightmare on Elm Street one, I think it was probably one of the better remakes of the big time ones, the big three, I guess you could say. Because and I would say up in that one and the My Bloody Valentine, I felt were both well done. And the funny thing is, I had never actually seen the original My Bloody Valentine, and then when I actually went and watched it, I'm like, I thought they did better in the remake, honestly, because it just kind of, at least the remake kind of built up to what the killer was, and it's a nice build up, unless you've seen the original, but like the original, it just kind of comes out of fucking nowhere, and it's just like, okay, no reason why this guy went nuts, he's just suddenly nuts. Just go with it. So I thought they actually did improve. I thought they improved on that, but that's a tale for another time. So as I said, they did a remake 2009. I remember I went and saw it in the theater with a couple of friends from work. I think we got off that day and we're like, let's go see this movie, and it was a lot of fun. So in this one, basically the way it works out, it kind of combines the first four movies a little bit. because there's little plot points from those first 4 movies, and they're all just kind of shoved in here into one movie, which is I thought was kind of clever, because you get the opening scene is basically Nana Visitor, who is on DS9 and has been in several other things, but that's what I know her most from. Was playing Pamela Voorhees in the flashback thing. I personally felt they should have used more of her, because I think granted, I knew you couldn't do the exact same storyline without being like, oh no, look, it's Pamela Voorhees. Unless you do some kind of twist where you make it seem like she's not Pamela Voorhees and then she suddenly is. That's probably the only way to make that work. But anyway, they have this flashback scene where Jason sees his mom get her head chopped off, and then kills the person who did that. So bye Alice. Once again, Alice, you're just out of there. But yeah, and then of course the movie goes on, and he ends up kidnapping this girl who looks like his mom. She resembles his mom a little bit. So, But what's cool about that movie too is that Jason is kind of like living off the land kind of thing, and is more of like a hunter almost, and is actually really skilled, as opposed to just like some kid that drowned and looks like a mongoloid. I don't know if that's a really appropriate word. So, but just mutant-like, I guess would be the best word I could say. So strike that and reverse it. I'm never going to use that word again. But yeah, anyway, he's he's deformed and things like that. But anyway, what was I saying? I've lost track of thought. I got up at like 5 a.m. because my neighbors decided that doing their laundry on their loud ass washer was a good idea at 5 in the morning. So I'm just a little like, Anyway, that's okay. Back to business. You don't care. Anyway. So yeah, of course in the movie, like I said, he kidnaps this girl, and then one of our main characters, played by Jared Padalecki from Supernatural, of course, is looking for his sister, which was a plot line from part 4. And now this guy's name is Clay. His character's name is Clay, and his sister's name is Whitney. So they actually tied that more in as the plot line, whereas in the 4th one, he just kind of never finds her, and I guess he assumes she's dead, then he dies. So much for that. But for this one, it was kind of more of a major plot point. There was also what's her name from Danielle Panabaker's in it as well, from The Flash and several other things that she's been in. But that's once again one of the main things I knew her from is The Flash. She's great on there. Yeah. So and then she has this really. It's weird though because it feels like she's got this kind of douchey boyfriend, but then he's sleeping with this other girl. This guy's great because he was on You season 3, and he was fucking great on there. So he really plays douches really well. But it's weird though because at first it seemed like they were implying that they were dating, but then it was almost like they were friends, or maybe they were brother and sister themselves. It was weird. They didn't really explain their relationship very well, I felt, because I thought at first they were definitely dating, but then he just maybe he's just a cheating bastard, I guess. But anyway, doesn't matter. He gets his. But anyway, so the main thing is that it leads off, and he gets his mask. He starts off in the duffel bag, so you get that part 2 thing, and then he finds the hockey mask, and then kills the guy and takes his hockey mask up. So you get all 4 movies in that movie. So it ends with basically it's down to basically Clay and his sister. They escape. Jason's gets put in like a shredder almost. I think he gets pulled back into the thing. But then he jumps out of the water for one of those amazing "or is it" moments, and jumping out of the water to get try to grab Whitney back, and that's how the movie ends. Now they don't play it up like the original did, where it's a dream sequence. So it's kind of like, oh no. So that's where we got to pick up from. So we have Clay and his sister Whitney. So we're gonna go ahead and open it up with that it was a quick little dream sequence just based off her trauma from, being kidnapped and stuck inside this place. So yeah, it's because it didn't really make any sense because he had just been wrapped up by this thing and crushed and shit, and then he just jumps out of the water. It's but he wasn't in the water. He was in his little kid coat. How the hell did he get in the water all of a sudden? So I figure, let's just, it was a nice little jump scare last moment thing that they did. It didn't make a lot of sense, but hey, it didn't really make a lot of sense in the original either. So there you go. So we're going to pick this thing up and, she's been dealing with her trauma. She's been getting some counseling and all that stuff. And she's like, yeah, it's really tough. And it was, being a survivor and seeing all these other people die. And it was just, not great. And Clay's going to play a big part too. We were good enough to get Jared Padalecki back because, we need some kind of draw for this movie. Sam. But we're going to go even one more further, baby, because you know what? You can't have a Friday the 13th movie without tying in the Tommy Jarvis story, goddammit. We're going to bring back Tommy Jarvis for the sequel. And you know who we're going to get to play grown-up Tommy Jarvis? We're going to get Jensen Ackles. We're going to have a supernatural team up right here, baby. Woo! So yeah, they're going to he gets to play grown-up, traumatized Tommy Jarvis. So yeah, we'll have some flashback sequence for that so that we don't have to go and start with Tommy Jarvis as a kid all over again, because you've seen that. Corey Feldman did it. And did it well, by God. So, yeah, but we'll have kind of a thing where maybe he meets her. Maybe not, because I don't want her to be in like a mental facility necessarily, but like they're both dealing with their trauma. And he can talk about how, like, in this particular universe, let's say that his sister actually got killed. That Trish died in this one. So that he has more of a vengeance on Jason. But she's, explaining, says, no, I killed him. He's gone, but she's talking about him jumping out of the water and how it, this is, no, that never happened. And then Clay's trying to get through to her and all that stuff. And we'll have some nice little wink moments just for, acknowledging that, hey, it's the Winchester brothers here in this movie together. We're not going to specifically say anything, but we'll make it, a little tongue-in-cheek jokes because, people like that shit. So, have fun with it. But yeah, basically, how's Jason going to come back, though? That's the thing, because he kind of, got shredded up pretty good. But hey, it's a sequel. You got to balance the power. So, there's always some kind of crazy reason of how the hell he's back. So sometimes it's just, well, he's back. We'll just do this, somehow Palpatine returned. Somehow he's just back. Who knows? Who gives a shit, right? But no, we'll make an effort. So we're going to say, we'll tie it in. We're going to say that Jason has another family member. Oh, we're going that route. Why not? So what we'll say is that, we never really knew anything about Jason's dad, did we? We're going to go the Jason's dad route because it's the last pitch and I'm like going for broke, whatever. I got no other ideas. This is all I got. There's a lot of freaking movies here. There's a lot of freaking Friday the 13th movies to have to pitch here. So I'm going crazy, baby. So yeah, we're going to say that basically his father will start off kind of, playing all nice to them. Maybe he's even, a doctor at this place, at this counseling that they're getting and all that. And so he'll start, slowly messing with Tommy Jarvis and stuff like that. And he'll start teasing him by showing him this mask and all that. Look at this mask I found. Granted, it would be better looking than this because this is a really cheap looking Jason mask. It's what they had at the time. Plus the other ones are pretty expensive to, the ones that look exactly like the movie wrote because, those are kind of pricey, So that's what I have. I've had it since high school. So yeah, but I would say that he's sort of traumatizing Tommy Jarvis a little bit. And I think Jensen Ackles can play that pretty well. He's done that pretty well in other things, besides Supernatural. So yeah, he would definitely good. He gets some good acting performances there. And Jared Padalecki, he's trying to reach his sister. He says, "We got to get past this. Look, he's gone. We beat him. He never jumped out of the water. That was just you're having some trauma. You started having a seizure. We decided to get you under control. Maybe she had a seizure, maybe just kind of panic attack, whatever the case. So she's having trauma. She's seeing Jason, but he's not really there. So he's not really a ghost, but just kind of that thing of like PTSD and all that stuff. So we'll be dealing with that, with both her and Tommy Jarvis. But like I said, Jason's dad is going to play a role in it. He's going to be he'll be pretending like he's like, oh, I'm not. He'll almost be kind of like a little bit like Terry Kaiser's character. Is it Terry Kaiser? Fuck. The guy who played Weekend at Bernie's. That guy. Well, his character in the seventh one where you seem like he's this nice psychiatrist, but really he's just messing with her. He's like, get her, Jason, get her. So basically we'll elaborate that basically Jason did somehow escape from that killing and wasn't completely shredded. Like maybe he just was able to get out. Maybe his dad showed up at the last minute. It's off screen. Who knows? He'd been hiding out. He'd been keeping tabs on his kid. And so he's trying to reach Jason and all that stuff. Because mom's dead, and dad's a drunk, and but he's also really methodical. And we can be playing that maybe his dad, had killed somebody before or something. Why not? The mom's nuts, dad's nuts. This whole family is nuts. Voorhees family, they kill people. That's what they freaking do. So we're going to go all out with that. So, yeah, I would say, now who would we get to play Jason's dad? Because I'm already doing some casting here. Amanda Rigetti was the one who played the sister Whitney. So we'll have her back too. Why not? They made money. We're making movies here. Or maybe it made more money. It would have gotten a sequel. But I think it deserved one. I thought it was pretty good. Anyway, enough about my opinion here. So I would say, let's see if we can get a decent... Let's get Tom Atkins. Tom Atkins, of course, from Season of the Witch, as well as Night of the Creeps? Night of the Creeps, yeah. Several movies. He'd be the right age, I think. So, he's done. Plus, he was, on Bloody Valentine. That was cool. So we'll get Tom Atkins to play Jason Voorhees' dad. Who's not going to name himself as Voorhees. He's just going to, be in disguise. And he infiltrated this, let's say he killed the actual doctor that he's playing. And then, he'll trap them and all that stuff. And he'll be like, you guys... How dare you? How dare you treat my boy Jason this way? How dare you? Because, I'm his father and all that. And you killed my wife. And he's like, we didn't kill your wife. I think Jason already took her, we don't know anything about this, And then he'll also look at her in the same way Jason did. Like, hey, you kind of look like my Pamela. You look like my Pamela. And he's got a southern accent for some reason. I know. Just want to say Pamela. Highly caffeinated. How are you? So anyway, yeah. So he's like, yes, but guess what? I have a surprise for you. And then Jason will come out. And meanwhile, while this has been happening, Jason's been killing some more campers and stuff like that. He's been getting healthy and, recovering and all that stuff. And his dad, let's say his dad's a little bit into the dark arts. So we're not going full Evil Dead, Book of the Dead here, but he's a little bit into witchcraft, a little bit. So there's some things going on just to help Jason heal. So he's not like fully healed yet. So that's why he's a little bit off screen for a little bit. We're still going to get lots of Jason kills. Don't worry. It's not going to be one of those like, well, we're going to subvert expectations because that's what we as directors do. You think you're getting a Jason movie, but you're going to get something else, baby. No, we're not going to do that. It's still going to be a Jason movie. That's the entire point. Why would you make a Jason movie and then not have Jason in it? That would be stupid. Part 5. Yeah, but at least that had Jason kills and a guy in a Jason mask. At least has that for it. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. We won't throw limitations. There's still going to be lots of kills. He'll kill a lot of other characters, just some teenagers or whatever, going about doing things they shouldn't have been doing in his camp. So yeah. And I think it would be interesting if we actually called back a little bit. Because since the first movie kind of had that kind of 1 through 4 callbacks, I'd kind of call back some of the other ones, and maybe say that why not? Let's go all out. Let's even call back New Beginning a little bit. Jason's been gone, but maybe somebody else is like, hey, you get some kind of obsessed fan. Because, you get those obsessed fans that love that true crime shit. But they take it one step too far. So, there's some guy with this cheap little mask like this, going around killing campers and all that stuff. And that'll be the opening thing. And they say, oh, I remember that guy. And, and of course, Voorhees' dad will say, hell yeah, I encourage that guy. He just needed a little push to, do this. I'm like, you got to keep the legend of Jason alive. Keep it alive for these Camp Crystal Lake idiots and stuff like that. They love, and the guy fed off it. And so, of course, he goes there. But then, the real Jason kills him. So, it's like, you can't impersonate Jason, you fool. Yeah. But I would say maybe, we won't go zombie Jason just because, we kind of, it's been done. But we can hint at it and all that. Like, how the hell is he back? He says, well, let's just say I use some dark arts here. But yeah, and we don't have anybody with telekinetic powers. So we don't have that advantage. But Maybe they'll go to Manhattan, though. No, maybe we'll do some kind of hinted thing in a boat or something. I don't know. But we have the psychiatrist angles, kind of. So we're kind of referencing Seven, and then, and like I said, we can maybe have them go to a grave that they think was Jason Voorhees. We can play off of that a little bit. Little hints there and there, not like full on, little Easter eggs more or less of like, hey, now we're referencing these ones. So anyway, it gets down to a big fight. Tommy Jarvis is badass because, it's played by Jensen Ackles, so of course he's badass. He's all Dean and shit. Dean Winchester. So yeah, the three of them are able to, they killed Jason's father, and they killed Jason finally, and they send him back to Crystal Lake in the bottom of the water. We're not going to chop his head off because that's what I did with the other one. So we're not going to do that because this is a remake now. Not the same continuity, baby. We're setting up a new continuity. But we're still calling back because Tommy Jarvis is here. But yeah, and maybe Tommy Jarvis, that could be the other reason. Maybe Tommy Jarvis, yeah, I tried to dig him up and he wasn't there. And it was, we can reference that a little bit. But yeah, the other thing, if you couldn't get Jensen Ackles, what would be another way to go about it? And because it would probably be possible, you could also get Corey Feldman, to play grown-up Tommy Jarvis. He's old enough now too, So I mean, that would be another angle too if you couldn't get the Supernatural brothers together. Bring in Corey Feldman. Why not? He's looking for work, right? That would be a cool callback, actually. I mean, you got these other horror people getting to come back. Why isn't Corey Feldman getting to come back? Damn it. Bring back Corey Feldman. I mean, he's got some issues here and there. But, yeah, it's Corey Feldman. He's a Goonie, man, despite his problems. And he was in Lost Boys. I mean, for me, I got a soft spot for the guy. Anyway. That could be another angle if you didn't get Jensen Ackles. But Jensen Ackles is still my first choice for grown-up Tommy Jarvis. But yeah, we'd have a big showdown. Some people would get wounded and stuff like that. But yeah, they would finally kill Jason's father and kind of unleash that. Here's what was going on. And here's this plan. And Jason gets all chopped up and all that good stuff. And then under the water with him. And maybe even gets the thing wrapped around him, a chain around him like they did in 6. We get little callbacks, like I said. Easter eggs, callbacks. Take a little bit from the originals a little bit. But a little bit from the sequels, so we're following that up. So cool, guys. Like I said, I don't go over specific kills and all that because I don't have that morbid of a mind. If I was actually filming it, we'd be like, okay, we're gonna have this kill here and this kill here. But this is just a little pitch thing right now, so we don't have to flesh out the whole goddamn movie, guys. So anyway, guys, cool. So that would be my Friday the 13th remake sequel. I was very energized for this, and maybe it's the 100 subscribers to the other channel that was really exciting, but I'm amazingly energized for this, and I hope I didn't ramble on too much in incoherency that you didn't understand a damn word I said. That would be very bad. Anyway, if you like what you saw here, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and keep growing this channel as well. So thank you, guys, and this is officially the end of the Friday the 13th pitches. Whew, that's a lot of movies. So as I said, I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and tackle Scream next. There's not quite as many movies as that. Of course, there's the 4 originals, and then was the original trilogy, then 4, and then there's the most recent ones. So I'm going to try and take a stab. I see that joke there. Those movies. And then we'll kind of see from there whether there's other ones I can pitch. There might be ones that only have like 1 or 2 sequels, where you can be like, oh, what if you did this? Candyman would be interesting. I would have to actually see the 3rd one, though, which I heard was really, really bad. So if I can catch it somewhere. But, I've been watching Amazon horror movies, and oh my God, are there some horrible movies on there. Like wooden acting, like really low quality, like Birdemic quality acting. So yeah, not even like enjoyable. Like it's more just like, is this over? So yeah, I think I could stand to watch Candyman 3 if I could get through these shitty Amazon horror movies. So cool, guys. Thank you for joining me this evening, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And keep on watching for more videos. Me and Honor are going to watch the Chucky Season 1 finale, so we'll probably be back possibly tonight with a little review for that because we've really been enjoying that. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really good. Cool. All right, guys. Have a good night.